Yes, now we are moving to the applet class. All applets are subclasses of applet class. Whatever the applet program you are writing, it becomes a subclass of main class applet class, as we have known. Applet inherits the following superclass defined by the AWT. So it is also inherits the superclass defined by the AWT. One is component and another one is container and another one is panel. Okay. So in the last in your VB.NET, we came to know the difference between component and container. Got it? So here it is also one of a very important question in coming chapter. Component, container and panels. So panels means, as you know, what is a panel, right? Frames, group box, right? So if you want to do any groups of a control, so then you are using panels. Clear in your VB.NET. In the same sense, applet inherits the superclasses defined by the AWT, that is component, container and panel. Thus, an applet has access to the full functionality of the AWT. Let us see what are the full functionality of AWT it is utilizing by your applet. Applet contains several methods that give you detailed control over the execution of your applet. As we have seen several methods, one is initialization method, start method, stop method, destroy method, update method, paint method, right? Got it? Repaint method, show status method, all these we have seen, and every method is having its own behavior, right? Let us see, this question is asked. This question is asked for the 5 marks. Please give here. Void destroy method. Already we are familiar with void destroy method. What we are going to be doing with this destroy method? Called by the browser just before an applet is terminated. If you want to close before closing this closing window, if you want to stop the complete action of your applet, then we have to call destroy method. Your applet will override this method if it is needed to perform any cleanup prior to its destruction. If you are using this destroy method, then it will be override this method and also cleans the prior to its destruction. It's a act as a destructor. So destructor means whatever the space, whatever the objects, whatever the fonts, whatever the size, whatever the colors as used by your applet can be destroyed. Next one is accessible context. Get accessible context returns the accessibility context for the invoking object. Whatever the context you have provided for your applet, if you want to access the context descriptions, okay, context means descriptions. If you have provided any descriptions, then if you want to access that, then you are using get accessible context method. Get accessible context method. Next, applet context. Get applet context. Get accessible context. Here get applet context return the context associated with the applet. It returns the description associated with that applet. Okay, and next, string get applet info. By using this method, it returns the string describes the applet. So it also describes the information of that applet. Well, it is not required. It is required only this destroy method, audio clip. Okay, so if you want to insert any audio clip in your applets, then you have to use audio clip. Get audio clip of URL. So this is the method. By using this method, you can access. By using this method, you can access the audio clip in your applet. Returns an audio clip object that encapsulates the audio clip found at the location specified by the URL. Whatever the URL you are provided, according to the address of that audio clip, the audio clip will be played in your applet. Next, audio clip get audio clip. Audio clip get audio clip. Here the URL is also there, and also you can access the name of the clip. So it returns the object encapsulated the audio clip found at the location specified by the URL address and also having the name of the clip. So sometimes you are providing the name of your audio clip, right? So that name is also displayed. And next one is URL get code base. URL get code base. So returns the URL associated with the invoking object. Here the URL is specifying the you are accessing code base. Your get code base method, by using that code base method, you are accessing the address of that object, address of your source code, address of your compiled codes, or address of your any applet programs, right? URL get document base. Yes, the get document base method is there. It returns the URL of the HTML document that invokes the applet. So it also invokes the HTML document, whatever the document you have provided for your applet programs. And next, image get image of URL. So if you want to access the picture of any object provided in your internet or in your applet, then you are using get image method. It returns an image object that encapsulates the image found at the location specified by the URL. So get image means you can access, so whatever the location you have provided, from that location it will access the image and stored in appropriate object. Okay, so next one is image get image URL string image name. So this is the second method. It can also returns the image object, and whatever the name you have provided for that image, it is also accessible. And next one is local get local. So returns a local object that is used by various local sensitive classes and methods. By using this local method, you can get local method, you can access the various sensitive classes objects and methods, various sensitive objects and methods. And the string get parameter. So just now only we have learned this get parameter. So returns the parameter associated with param name. Null is returned if the special parameter is not found. By using this parameter get parameter method, it will returns the value provided in the param attribute, param tag, by the name. Okay, if it is not found, then it will return not found, right? And the string double array of get parameter info, it also overrides this method should returns a string table that describes the parameters recognized by the applet. Okay, and next one is void init method. By using this void init method, this method is called when an applet begins execution, as we know init method. So among this, you just learn destroy method, get code method, audio clip method, and get image method and init method. Okay, not all methods are important. Let you take init method. This method is called when an applet begins execution. As we know, whenever the applet begins, we are supposed to call init method. It is the first method called for an applet. Boolean is active. So to check whether the applet is started or not, or running or not, we have to use this method. It returns true if the applet has been started. It returns false if the applet has been stopped. This value will returns the true if the applet is running, if the value is returns false if the applet has stopped. And boolean is validate root returns true, which indicates the applet is validate root. So here the validate root means some of the validations which has been provided by your JDK 7. Okay, it's JDK 7 version software. And next, here the final audio clip is there. You can place the video clip, you can play the clip, you can play the clip and clip name, and resize, you can resize your window. So resize method is important. By using this resize method, you are specifying the dimension of a class inside the java.awt, and it uses to resize the window, it uses two attributes, two fields, that is width and height. So here it is clearly mentioned void resize into width and height. You can go through this. And the show status method already we have learned. So what is the purpose of show status? Whatever the value you supplied in the string, that value will be displayed in the form of status bar information. And start method, this is the starting point of your applet, called by browser when an applet should start. Okay, whenever you are starting your applet, this is the first point where it starts. It is automatically called after init when an applet first begins. Void stop, called by the browser to suspend execution of the applet. Okay. So start and stop, as well as your destroy, as well as init. Okay, and besides this, you please make a remember of some of the methods. So that's it. The question is asked somewhere else in the world. there may be a chance. And event handling, this question is also asked. Okay, this is also very important question. In Java, graphical user interface programs such as applets are event driven. Whatever the applet program we have designed till now, it is a event driven program. Thus, event handling is at the core of successful of GUI programming. So, if you are using GUI programs, then successful behind that GUI programs are event handlings. Most events to which your program will respond are generated by the user. So almost the generated events are by the user side itself only. These events are passed to your program in a variety of ways with the specific method depending upon the actual event. So we can pass various kinds of events to our programs according to our requirement, right? We have learned this concept in your VB.NET, right? So there are several types of events including those generated by the mouse, keyboard and various controls such as push button. So as we know, several types of events can be generated using certain controls. Those controls are mouse, keyboards and push buttons. AWT based events are supported by java.awt.event package. If you are executing any events, then if you want to write the event codes, then you have to import one package. The package is java.awt.event. So this question is asked for the 6 marks and 5 marks. This is a very important question. Please understand this concept very carefully. Okay, delegation event model. The delegation event model defines a standard and consistent mechanism to generate and process events. So by using this model, delegation event model, you are defining the standard and consistent mechanism to generate and process event. Okay, for generating and processing the events, we have to follow standard and consistent mechanism. That mechanism has been provided in your delegation event. Its concept is quite simple. A source generate an event and send it to the one or more listener. So what is this concept then? We must have a source. A source generates an event. Whatever the source generated an event, it will be sent it to the one or more listeners. Okay, so that source is whatever the events generated, that source is passed to one or more listeners, one or more accessors. Here the listeners says accessors. These listeners are very important. Okay, so you will identify in the code this source as well as listeners. Please give more attention on this topic. If you don't give this more attention, then your lab program you are unable to understand. In Part C programs, it consists of delegation event models. In this scheme, the listener simply waits until it receives an event. So the listeners are simply waiting until the source generate an event. Till that listeners are simply waits. Okay, this is how means you are simply waiting until unless we post the timetable. Once the timetable has been posted, you are accessing the source, right? In the same sense, it can be accessed by one or n numbers, right? So you are accessing. Some of times you are not accessing. Then those who are accessed, that source is the listeners. Okay, we came to know how many listeners are listening our classes. Clear? Yes, likewise. So this delegation event model, it is listeners are waiting for the events which is generated by the source. The source can generate an events, it can be accessed by one or more listeners. Let us see the advantages of this design is that the logic that process event is cleanly separated from the user interface logic that generates those events. The advantages of this design is that the logic that process events is cleanly separated from the user interface logic that generate those events. So whatever the events you are developing, it is purely separated from the user side and event side. Okay, a user interface element is able to delegate the processing of an event to a separate piece of code. Yes, so once, as we know, once received, the listener process the events and then returns. Okay. Yes, we are explaining this delegation event model. We are explaining this delegation event model, right? Let me see this delegation event model. The advantages of this design is that the logic that the process event is cleanly separated from the user interface logic that generate those event. Okay, so as we have seen, a user interface element is able to delegate the processing of an event to separate piece of code. So whenever the user interface element is able to delegate the processing of an event to a separate piece of code, it means it is nothing but an please observe here the two terms, a source and a listener. A source and a listener. Source is waiting for user interaction. When the user interaction has generated, then according to that generation the listeners are executed. Okay, if I click the button, that is the source button is waiting for the user interaction, and appropriate action should be executed by these listeners. So this the meaning word of this statement is nothing but an source is waiting for the delegate and the execution of a piece of code by the listeners. Got it? In the delegation event model, listener must register with a source in order to receive an event notification. In this model, listeners must register. So listeners must register with a source. So this whatever the piece of action should be taken, that must be placed. Register means placed within a source. So we have to be placed within a source, and whenever the source has been incorporated with listeners, then an event notifications are generated. Whenever an event notification generated, according to that the task will be executed. Okay, yes, for example, it is just like as in a switchboard. In the switchboard, various switches are exist, all the switches are registered, right? So whenever the switch is turned, according to that switch it will be executed. Got it? So it is the same thing in the delegation event model, right? Let us see events. What is an events? In the delegation event model, an event is an object that describes the state change in a source. In the delegation event model, we know an event is an object that describes a state change in a source. Okay, so event is also treated as an object. It defines the state of a changes in a source. So according to that, the source will changes. Among other reasons, an event can be generated as a consequence of a person interacting with the elements in graphical user interface. So in other words, it is nothing but a person interacting with the graphical user interface elements when pressing a button or entering a character through the keyboards, selecting item in a list and clicking the mouse. According to this consequence, then what happens? Events are generated. Let us see event sources. We have to see this event sources. An event source is an object that generates an event. Here the event source is also exist. This is an object that generates an event. By using this event source object, we are generating an event. A source must register listener in order to listeners to receive notification. So hence a source also must register the listeners in order to receive the notifications about the specific type of event. Okay, why the source has to register the listeners? If the listeners has not registered, then it is getting confused of which kind of listener has to perform events. Okay, each type of event has its own registration method. Yes, every event is having its own registration method. Let us see the simple example. Here the general syntax is public void add type listeners. We are specifying these listeners. Public, it is a access to specifier, void is a return type, add is the third type listeners. Here the type may be any type. Okay, so for this you are specifying the type listener object. Type listener object. Here the type is the name of the event and el is the reference to the event listener. Let us see. For example, the method that register a keyboard event. If you add a keyboard event listener is called add key listeners. If I press the keyboards, it has to take add key listeners. Okay, add key listeners. Add key listeners is for registering the keyboard events. Okay, keyboard events. Next, the method that register a motion listener, mouse motion. So if you turn, for example, you are seeing here the mouse is turning, right? So all these are the motions. I'm making the move, right, up, down, right, and making a move of this cursor insertion point, right? So these are nothing but mouse motion listeners. So to specify that event, we are using public void add mouse motion listener, movement of mouse. Okay, and next, when an event occurs, all registered listeners are notified and receive a copy of that event object. Whenever the events are occurred, whenever I'm making a movement, that according to that movement it is moving, right? All the registered listeners, whatever the listeners we have spaced, when I am moving my mouse, it has to move. This listeners has registered, right? It is notified and receive a copy of that event object. This copy will be received, and according to this copy it will act. A source must also provide a method that also a listener to unregister an interest in a specific type of event. And also this sometimes this source is also provide a method to listener for unregistering themselves, for unregister an interest in specific type of event. To specific type of event not to execute, then we can use unregistered method. So then what is the unregistered method? Let us see the syntax. Public void remove type listeners. So we can remove that particular listeners. Okay, public void remove type listeners, we can remove that appropriate listeners. Here type is the name of the event and EL is the reference to the event listener. Here type is the name of the event and EL is a reference to the event listener. For example, to remove a keyboard listeners, you can call remove key listeners. If you want to remove the keyboard event listeners, then you have to call remove key listeners. The method that to add or remove listeners are provided by the source that generate events. These are the methods as provided by the source. According to that source, it generates the events. For example, the component class provides method to add and remove keyboard and mouse event listeners. Here the component class is provides as a source to add or remove keyboard or mouse event listeners. Let us see event listeners. See, all these questions is related to one question only. This is the delegation event model. In the delegation event model, it consists of event source, okay, and event listeners. Now we are seeing the event listeners. A listener is an object that is notified when an event occurs. For example, you are having WhatsApp notification, right? If you turn on your data, automatically a notification will come. How that notification is come? You have turned on that notification only. That listener is on, then notification will comes. Like in the same sense, a listener is an object that is notified when an event occurs. So when an event has occurred, then it notifies. It has two major requirements. What is the two major requirement? First, it must have been registered with one or more source to receive notification about specific type of event. So these listeners must be registered themselves within one or more source to receive that notification. To get the notification, it has must register. If it is not registered, then it won't get the notifications, okay, about the specific type of event. For example, your WhatsApp message, Facebook messages, Gmail messages, everything you are notified whenever you are turned on, right? So how it is coming? Those are event listeners as already registered. Got it? As a second, it must be implement methods to receive and process this notification. So these listeners must be implement and receive process this notification. Whatever the implementation, whatever you have developed that method, it has to receive and process the notification. So it has to receive according to whatever the task you are providing. Okay, the methods that receive and process AWT events are defined in a set of interfaces found in java.awt.event. So in this java.awt.event, whatever the methods you are receiving and processing are defined in these interfaces. For example, the mouse motion listener interface define methods that receive notification when the mouse is dragged or moved. Whenever you are making the movement of a mouse, right, mouse is dragged or moved, and mouse motion listener interfaces are executed. This has been registered in that event handlers. Okay, any object may receive and process one or both of these events if it provides an implementation of these interfaces. If it want to execute, okay, if it want to execute whatever the code you have to specify, whatever according to the code you specified, it will be evaluated. According to the code you specified, it will be evaluated. For example, if I want to turn the next slide, I can press the enter key or I can click the mouse, right? So this has been registered, right? So if I press the enter key, what happens? Automatically it moves to the next slide. If I can also do the same event by pressing the mouse also, right? These events has been registered, the code has been developed. Likewise you have to do in your applets also. Okay, now let us see using the delegation event model. Applet programming using the delegation event model is actually quite easy. Just follow these two steps. We have to follow these two steps. Implement the appropriate interface in the listener so that it will receive the type of event desired. First we have to implement appropriate interface. Appropriate interface means appropriate program. In appropriate program, what kind of event you want to generate? Okay, for example, if you want to do addition of two numbers, if you want to do addition of two numbers, you will input those numbers in two boxes, and whenever a button is clicked, the result will be displayed, right? So it is a just as an event, right? So that is the same thing here. Is suggesting implement the appropriate interface in the listener so that it will receive the type of event desired. Implement code to register and unregister the listener as a recipient for the event notification. So the code to register and register a listener as a recipient for the event notification. It is you to decide whether the code has to register or unregister. So register means it will work, unregistered means if you unregistered it won't work, right? So here the note is given. It is just to go through it. Okay, remember that a source may generate several types of events. Each event must be registered separately. Source may generate different types of event. Each event has to be registered separately. Also, an object may register to receive several types of event, but it must implement all of the interface that are required to receive these events. Whatever the object has registered for receive the events, it must be implemented. Implement means it has developed all the interfaces that are required to receive these events. Okay. To see how the delegation event model works in practice, we will look at an example that handles one of the most commonly event generator, the mouse. To know more about this delegation event handler, we will see the mouse generator model. Okay, handling mouse and mouse motion events, we will see. This is also one of a question as asked. You never skip any question from this portion. Okay, mouse and key press event as asked. You just verify your previous question paper. It consists. To handle mouse and mouse motion events, you must implement the mouse listeners and mouse motion listener interface. If you want to handle mouse and mouse motion, mouse means click and clickable, mouse motion means drag and move. Okay, so mouse listener and mouse motion listeners has to be used. Mouse listener interface defines 5 methods. If you use mouse listeners, it defines 5 methods. If a mouse button is clicked, mouse clicked is invoked. When the mouse enters a component, the mouse entered method is called. When it leaves, the mouse exited is called. Okay, the mouse pressed and mouse released method are invoked when a mouse button is pressed and released respectively. So these are the 5 methods available for the mouse listeners. What are the 5 methods? White mouse clicked, mouse event me. White mouse enter, mouse event me. White mouse exit, mouse event me. Mouse pressed, mouse event me. Mouse released, mouse event me. These are the 5 methods which are incorporated with mouse listeners. Now mouse motion listeners. Mouse motion listeners interface defines 2 methods. These are implemented by 2 methods. One is a mouse dragged method, is called multiple times as the mouse is dragged. If you drag the mouse, so holding the left button and drag your mouse, it will generate some events in your Excel and so on. You have seen that is nothing but a mouse motion listeners. In the mouse motion listener, it is a mouse dragged and another one is mouse mode. This mouse mode method is called multiple times as the mouse is moved. Okay, mouse moved method is called multiple times as the mouse is moved. The general form here shown here: wide mouse drag, mouse event me; wide mouse moved, mouse event me. Here we are having two methods. One is a wide mouse dragged, wide mouse moved. Okay, and the mouse event object process in me. Mouse event object process in me describes the event. Here the me is the object of mouse event and it describes the particular type of event has to be taken place. Here mouse event defines a number of methods that you can use to get information what about happened. So it is also defines the number of methods. Based on that methods you are getting the information what is happening. The most commonly used method in mouse events are getX and getY. So this getX and getY method is used to identify the X location as well as Y location in your window. X coordinate as well as Y coordinate. Okay, here it is specified int getX, int getY. This int getX and getY access X coordinate as well as Y coordinate in your relative windows. To understand this concept, please give more attention on this program. Later onwards, we will show this program execution. Okay. So first, what are the things we have to do? Import java.awt.star. This package is required. If you want to generate an event, this package has to be import java.awt.event.star. So this package is compulsory for generating an event. And if you are doing the applet program, applet package is compulsory, and this code is compulsory. Applet tag is compulsory, right? Applet code mouse event. This is the name of the class. Dot class file is compulsory, and here you are writing the class. What is the name of the class? Public class mouse events. What is the name of the class? Mouse events. It is inheriting applet. Extends applet. Implements means you are inheriting, right? Inheriting interfaces. Which interfaces you are inheriting? Mouse listeners comma mouse motion listeners. These two interfaces are you are inheriting by this class. Okay, it is inheriting the applet class and also inheriting the mouse listeners, mouse motion listener interfaces. Okay, in this first we are declaring string message is equal to blank space. String message as blank, and int mouse x is equal to 0, mouse y is equal to 0 for the coordinates of a mouse, and we are taking the init method. In the init method we are using add mouse listener of this, okay. So here init method you are using add mouse listeners method. Whatever the this object you are supplying, this will be act according to this class object, okay, this class listeners. And add mouse motion listener of this. So mouse motion listener will be act according to this class, okay. And now I am implementing. Please observe here, public void mouse clicked. If you clicked mouse event me, I am taking this two variable mouse x is equal to 0, mouse y is equal to 10. So if you click the mouse, automatically the insertion point will go at 0 and 10, and the message mouse clicked is displayed. And for displaying purpose you are calling repaint method, okay. If you are calling the repaint method means somewhere else it consists of a paint method. This event listener you have implemented when you click the mouse, okay. And now public void mouse entered. Whenever you enter the mouse, it has to go for a 0th x coordinate and 10th y coordinate, and it has to display the message mouse entered, and it has to be displayed. Repaint method means the mouse entered value will be displayed. And mouse exited, whenever you quit from your browser, it has to show some message. So x location and y location you are specifying, and you are displaying the message. And when you press the mouse pressed event has to be occur, and mouse x is equal to me.getx, wherever the value coordinate you are doing at that time, at that x location it will be accessed at mouse x, and y location value will be stored in mouse y, and message is down and it will display. The location will be shown at particular location, okay. Mouse released, if you release the mouse after the pressing that, if you release, it will show x coordinate value and y coordinate value, and message is up, okay. And mouse dragged, you will dragging, wherever you dragged, the dragged location will be shown in x coordinate x value, y coordinate y value, and the message is shown at the dragging point as star, And also you are calling the show status method. In the show status method you are showing, dragging mouse at your x value as well as y value you are showing here, right? Here the mouse x and mouse y, and repeat. And public void mouse mode, whenever you move the mouse you are getting the x and y value. So your show status method you are using. In the show status method, when you move the mouse pointer in your applet browser, then it will show where the exact point it is moving. Okay, and everywhere you are having repaint method, so you have to implement paint method. Public void paint graphics g dot draw string, it will display the message mouse x value and mouse y value. Okay, message is displaying x coordinate and y coordinate is displaying as mouse x and mouse y. So let me see this program. To understanding this concept, I'm copying and I'm taking notepad plus plus. Okay, and I'm taking new file, I'm pasting, and next I'm going here and I'm pasting, I'm opening here and I'm pasting this. I'm pasting. Already I have explained what it is happening here. If you didn't give any concentration, then it can make an head or tail. That's it. Pasting, right? Here the program ends. What is the name of a program? Mouse events. I'm saving with mouse events.java. I'm copying, I'm saving. While saving I have to ensure where I'm saving, so I'm saving in jdk 1.4 bin folder .java, mouse events.java, right? I'm opening my command prompt and press the alt enter and cd jdk 1.4 bin. Now compile. What is the name of a program? Mouse events, right? Okay, java c mouse events.java. so this much of error is there because it is a comment line, right? 16 19 76. Let me check. Here is the 16 line, here it is there, right? It should be in comments. If you don't mention the comments, then these problems are arises. And you are calling these events mouse motion and mouse listeners you are calling. If you call mouse clicked is mouse listeners, mouse entered is mouse listeners, and mouse exited is mouse listeners, mouse pressed is mouse listeners, mouse released is mouse listeners, and mouse dragged is mouse motion listeners, and mouse moved is mouse motion listeners. Got it? Yes. Now I'm saving, I'm coming here and let me compile once again. Is there any error? No error, right? So let me clear the screen and once again compile. No error. Now run, outrun applet viva mouse events.java. so whenever I have started, please observe, I have not placed the mouse. When I place the mouse, mouse entered is coming. When I quit, and I remove, mouse exited, mouse entered, mouse exited, right? I hope it is visible, right? Let me check here. Okay, clear? If I enter, it is showing. In your status bar also you are identifying what is the x coordinate value, what is the y coordinate value, right? If I enter, it is showing mouse has entered, it is in 0 and 10th location, and in the status bar it is showing 126 and 85. Whenever it moves, it's showing x and y coordinates. Got it? If I remove mouse pointer from the browser, it is showing mouse is exited, right? Enter, exit, enter, exit, right? These are the mouse listeners. If I click here, click is happens, down is showing, so it is showing here its pixel. Okay, clear? If I drag, I'm dragging here, please observe it, left click and I'm dragging. So whenever I'm dragging, it is showing star because the message we have shown it as a star. So while dragging, it is showing 221. If I click up, it is coming. Okay, so these are the mouse motion listeners we have implemented in our program. Got it? So if you don't pay the attention, then this concept won't you get. Okay, these are the very important topic. Please observe once again. These are the packages. This is the applet code compulsory required. Even if it is a comment, it is required. If it doesn't exist, then it won't works. Okay, here the code is the attribute. For the code attribute, you have to send the class file of compiled source code. Okay, and here the methods as used: mouse clicked, mouse entered, mouse exited, mouse pressed, mouse released. All these are the mouse listeners. So this is act according to this source. This is the source method, right? We have implemented here source as registered, and the events also register the notification. So whatever the source you have listeners you have registered, you have to implement means you have to write the code. Okay, according to your code it will execute it. According to your code it will execute it. According to your code it will execute it. Clear? So likewise it will evaluates. Okay, so that is your program related to the event handlers. Now more Java keywords. This question is also asked in 2 marks as well as 5 marks. 5 marks question is also asked, so this is also very important question. So you never skip these questions, and 2 of the keywords will ask. Okay, let us see few key Java keywords. One is a transient, volatile, instance of, native, strict, FP, assert. These keywords are most often used in programs more advanced. So whenever you are using these keywords, you are using more advanced topics. We will see what is the more advanced topics. Okay, let us see transient and volatile modifier. So transient and volatile keywords are the type modifiers. These are acting as a type modifiers. Modifier means it may be converting, right? That handles somewhat specialized situations. Somewhat specialized situation. Let us see. When an instance variable is declared as a transient, then its value need not persist when an object is stored. So if you declare the variable with transient, okay, it doesn't persist when the object is stored. Okay, that mean this value doesn't store previous values. Okay, when object is stored. Thus a transient field is one that does not affect the state of an object. So it doesn't means the transient means it doesn't store the previous value. Whatever the value is exist currently, it will hold. Okay, it is just like as an increment. It is just like as a static as well as non-static. Okay, let us see volatile. The volatile modifier tells the compiler that a variable can be changed unexpectedly by other parts of your program. So if you are using the keyword volatile, then it tells the compiler the variable can be changed unexpectedly by other parts of your program. So transient means it is acting as a constant. It doesn't changes, right? It doesn't store the previous value also. But if you use the volatile, the value may vary, and it causes in some situation we need to change the value of variable. Hence we are using the variable as volatile. One of these situation involves multi-threaded programs where this volatile keyword is required. Means whenever you are developing multi-threaded programs. In multi-threaded programs, the value of the thread has to be changed, hence the variable has to declare volatile. In a multi-threaded program, sometimes 2 or more thread will share the same variable, right? In that situation, whenever it shares the 2 or more thread with the same variable name, at that time the value must be vary. If the value doesn't varies, then it gives inconsistent result. Okay, so that is the usage of transient and volatile. Transient means then its value need not persist. Persist means retain, store, when the object is stored. Storing of old values. Okay, it doesn't store old values, it will only stores latest value. Okay, it is just like as an acting as a constant. Hope you understand this concept. We will continue the next topic in next class.